All right, sorry about that, guys. We're gonna get back to this. Hopefully, we're gonna get to do like this kind of watch party about modeling on the Helix. But right now, I'm trying to figure out what is the difference between the bias and the Helix tube screamer. So I'm gonna look at let's look at the frequencies here. So I am feeding um, some white noise or pink noise. What am I doing here? I'm feeding. Ooh, that's not how I want to do that. I am feeding pink noise to both bias and helix, and I should be seeing it on span, and we should see the difference here. So if I mute bias, let's see what happens. Yeah, I'd really love some totally different colors, so I'm not getting confused, but can we do that? Let's change to the right. Well, I didn't know you could do that. You can hold. Oh, okay, that's cool. But I would like to change one of these colors to something drastically different. It would be in here. Oh, God. Hello? Hey, hey. Ah. Um, might. It's like weird. Like there's no stock right now, so everything's a little bit tricky. But you can take a look. Yeah. Depends really what you're doing. If like a full on professional one, like the one people are asking for backline now, instead of like thousands of dollars like they used to cost or whatever, it's like 400 bucks, and that's like a big old amp. Um, so they have a lot smaller. It's just normally there's tons of used stuff for sale, but it's just so little right now. It's just absolutely bonkers. I might. I'll take a look. I may think I do. Like 50 bucks or something like there. If I have one, it's gonna be old. Not really. uh, Yeah, I mean, we there's a lot you can actually do. Yeah, yeah, probably have him call me. Oops, shoot. Um, yeah, have him call me. It's fine. Oh, is that a place? Where is that? Oh, yeah, or yeah. See what they got though. I mean, you might actually get something really good. Who knows what's for sale right now? Uh, but Yeah, I'd like to. I need to go check that place out. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I've never seen that yet. Uh, cool. Yeah, it's there's not much around lately, so kind of crazy. It really depends on. Yeah, it really depends on how he is. You know, like what how he feels about stuff too. You know, like and where his abilities end up. You know how teachable he is, and you know that kind of thing. So yeah, yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it really depends what he can do. I mean, we are in no um I mean we could always use more teachers, but we're in no type of situation where we really need to give anything major away to anybody right now. But we can definitely talk. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, as long as you know that's yeah. Hey, we get it. I'll talk to him about it. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I gotta take this. Sorry. But yeah, have him give me a call. Okay, bye. Hello. Hi. All right, sorry. Hopefully, there's not too many more calls. Um, okay, so here's what's going on. I'm not thrilled with the colors on Voxango Span, but I don't know how to change them. So watch what happens when I turn on this Bias's Tube Screamer. So this is its circuit. You know, it's filtering, and notice that it stops cutting out around 6K or so. So let's look at what happens with the Helix version. So there's a similar sort of filtering, but it doesn't have that high end. See, that's kind of interesting there. I might try and dial this in and see if that gets me closer to where I thought. But what's really kind of crazy to me is that the levels, if I turn these off, if I turn both distortions off, the levels are the same. There's something weird going on here that I don't really understand. I'm not super worried about it. But here's the RMS level, I think, this bottom one. In fact, I don't even know what I'm looking at. I got kind of, let's see. Display RT max. What if I have none? I do a none. I don't know. Anyway, if I have them off, they're the same level. But look at this. If I turn them on, the bias one is actually, wait a second. So I had this set so that zero. Oh yeah, I'm not turning this. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put a little bit more level into here. I'm gonna let it distort. In fact, I expected to distort. Okay, that's too much. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in until it goes to zero. How about that? Okay, so this is I don't know if I can get this any closer to zero. Need to go one more. So this is probably going to peak around zero. So when I turn this on, what's going to happen? It should get lower. See that? It almost dropped 10 decibels. That's bias. So that dropped it like 10 dB. Okay, totally. Yeah, life is life. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the Helix version, and here's where it gets really screwy. The Helix. Oh, wait a second. Once you're feeding it enough level, the Helix is getting about the same gain as the as bias is. So what the problem was before was it no, it still looks like less. So this round slopey one is Helix. Yeah, I really got to tell what the hell I'm looking at. This is just not helpful. Do I have another oscilloscope I can use instead of span? I don't think that Melda Auto EQ can look at both sides. Well, let's just see. Yeah, I don't think it does like any stereo stuff. So Yeah. So these two are bias. These two are Helix. But if you look at the levels look so close, but on span they look very different. Like why am I getting two totally different looks on these things? Something funny is going on. I'm showing like 1 decibel difference, and that doesn't look like a dB difference. This looks like something strange is happening. That doesn't look like a decibel very much. I'll turn it up. Oh, wait a second. It's so hard to tell what I'm looking at. This, I'm assuming this lower one's what's supposed to be with that one. Yeah, do you know anything about how to set this damn analyzer? Like, I only want to see the RMS, or I only want to see the peak. I don't want to see them both. If I set them both to the same thing. Oh, I don't know. Does it have auto scale? Voices. Add this. Yeah, this one here should be up here. Like, why? Oh, like to see the levels it might be calling this meter because it's not like the peak is, well, like there's just a lot more information here. Hold on. Yeah, see, this one's not filtering like that. It's filtering, but it's nowhere near. So I know Alex from Audio Assault had told me before that sometimes the filter doesn't happen until later on in the travel. So let me turn it up to 1. Let's see if the filter changes. Because the sound is much different as well. Okay, no, that's not changing the filtering. What about the tone? See, it's so hard for me to tell which one's which. Like, I really want a different let's see. How do I change this to log? Uh, yeah, this isn't really helping me either. What other analyzer I have? Let's deal with this. So the brown ones are Helix and the green ones are bias. And yeah, the frequency response is different, but it's also the gain that these put out is different. And look at this. So now, yeah, Jesus. So the tone really doesn't do it. Tone might help make it a little bit more shape like biases. You look real quick at take place of these. look at putting in the precision drive. Let me see. What's it actually called? Horizon drive. Let's compare these two. It was bright no, this isn't what I'm thinking of. No, it is. What is bright? See, one thing is like is it attack? Attack is the filter. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just gonna have Helix on. So change drive to nothing. So it already has that shape. So attack 1. This is annoying. Okay, so one of these is a high pass filter. I can't remember which one. So let's try attack all the way on 6. That doesn't seem to be doing it. I'm not sure what this attack thing does. I watched a video on it. I can't remember though. So I'm going to change the bright. I swear attack was a high pass filter. So I got to watch that video again. Let's just make this so we can hear it. It's like it's a low pass filter, not a high pass filter. Sounds like a low pass filter, doesn't it? Is this not telling me what it's supposed to be telling me? Let's just say it at 100 hertz. Let's say there's a little dip. Minus 50. Okay, let's see what happens. So what it's really doing as you turn the attack up is taking out 300. It's taking out mud, but it's not really taking out the earlier stuff. Okay. Interesting. Let's take a look at something else then. Yeah, see these ones, man. Look at that high pass filter. See, a lot of these are doing a lot of filtering. What's the rat one? There was a right here. Look at that peak. So that's interesting. The tube screamer is not doing. I don't know which one's wrong though. Is it the bias one or the let's see, do I have an audio assault one we could try out real quick? Tab. Okay. So his drive, let's see, this isn't the 808. This is just some, says drive. Very much, again, a bandpass. Um, yeah, again, it's a bandpass. I don't know which one's, I mean, the bias one is weird, but it's the one I like. So let me go back to Helix. So here's your tube screamer. And it's definitely got a bandpass to it, but it doesn't have... Let's just see if there's a... Yeah, the gain does a little bit of low passing. What does the tone knob do? That's nice back in. What's the one everybody always talks about? Like this one, Minotaur. What does this thing do? People go crazy for this. So the gain is definitely a low pass filter. Tone. See, none of these do what it seems like they're gonna do. So here's the other thing that was bothering me with the bias versus Helix. Okay, so let's I'm gonna turn off the what's it called, the tone generator. I'm just gonna hit play. Listen to biases 808. It's way louder. Even though it shows the same. Here, put them both together, sorry. See, they're pretty much the same peak. But it's so much louder. Let me put it up by a decimal and see what happens. So it's a little bit more dynamic. It's got more of a higher peak to RMS. So let me give it a little bit more gain. See, I'm still watching it move a little bit more. It's got lower lows and louder louds. So I can give it more gain, see if that changes it. Because here, listen to the character. Here's bias. Then here's Helix. Never mind the volume difference. Let me get the... Yeah, see, I gotta get the volumes the same before you can really tell. And it's about this RMS level, though. It needs more compression. And I don't know how I'm going to get that. I could put it more gain. What about tone? Is that going to change it? It still sounds cleaner. These controls don't seem to do jack, man. Like, really. Okay, listen to... Okay, here's bias. Listen to that distortion. The lows are coming through a lot cleaner, even with the gain up to 10 on here. I think it's still making less distortion, even with the gain on 10, compared to the bias not having any gain on at all. It's a different flavor of distortion, though. Like, you need less of it and a little bit more treble. I probably got to do some tone matching, but... The levels are comparable. Sound different, but let's turn everything back on, see what we get here. Oh. Woo! Ouch. Let's get a Helix. And they're damn close, man. Wow. All right, that's pretty damn close. I'm gonna save. Boy, how can I save this crap? In fact, I'm gonna copy this to my Helix floor. Let's do this. Oh yeah, you too. Let's see. This is. Oh no 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 no. No 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 mess up. 7.5, 8.7. So that's where I'm gonna start from. And this might fix a lot of stuff for a lot of them. So 7. And might need to change the tone later, but this is way closer than it was. 8.7. So I'm probably gonna make a different version of this other thing with this. So we shall see. Okay, so that's enough for that. I'm gonna drive myself nuts trying to figure this out. So let's go on to what this whole thing was supposed to be about anyway, was this the profiling. So Helix doesn't let you profile natively, but you just see me doing this tone matching thing, and so there's ways to make this happen. So we're gonna talk about that in a second. Monitor. There. Okay.
Hello,
Ouch.
welcome to worshiptutorials.com. I'm Bradford.
Hello, friends. I'm Brian.
So, can the Helix profile or something of that nature capture?
That is the clickbait.
That's the clickbait, but we're going to deliver on it because we're going to answer that question.
We call this legit
it's
bait.
legit bait.
Yes. In short, the answer is no, but yes.
Yeah, no, but yes.
So Line 6 has not released some new feature in the Helix that allows it to profile an actual amplifier, but we have figured out how to hack the Helix, if you will, and get it to essentially run what you could think of as a profile of a real amp. And even get amps like our Matchless Chieftain, which lives over here on the desk, in the Helix, amp models that don't exist. So we're going to talk today about how is this done? What does it sound like? We're gonna
kind of talk about how it's done.
We'll give you a little bit. We're going to A-B for you what these amps sound like versus the Helix patches that we've created. All that coming in this video.
Okay, so this is supposed to be a example.
So we're talking in this video about our Tone Match series of patches that are available for Line 6 hardware. Helix, HX Stomp, and Pod Go.
And Pod Go.
Unless they're dual amp patches, which can't fit in the Pod Go.
You can only do one amp.
So just really briefly what these are. What we've done is taken the Line 6, the HX amp model, or an HX amp model. Let's take the AC30 Top Boost TM patch that we have. We took the Line 6 amp model of the AC30 Top Boost, which is the SX30 model. We take our own AC30 amp, which maybe you'll see a picture of it here on the screen. It's a 2002 Korg era Vox AC30 Top Boost with Celestian Blues. Sounds amazing.
It's a desired model of that.
Yeah, it's a good one. And what we've done is we've created a pretty complex, I guess you could think of it as, impulse response that matches the Helix amp model without a cab, first of all, matches the Helix amp model to the actual amp. Not just the amp, but the amp, the microphones that we use to record it, which our kind of go-to combo is a Royer 121 and an Earthworks SR25. We kind of like that more than the one.
It's almost like this paint by numbers, like you know exactly what they're going to say when they say microphone, right?
12157. We run that into a couple of different preamp options we have. Most of the time it's like a Neve style 1073, or we have Universal Audio 710.
Again, do I have to say it again?
Preamps that we run into. These tone match patches, because we're essentially just matching, create digital versions of real world amps. We're doing that, and we're doing it in a way that works with Helix, that works with HX Stomp and Pod Go.
When you get a Helix, you're given an amp model in the unit, aside from what we're talking about, like what we did here. If you want an AC30, you pull up the AC30 and you have full range of controls.
Yeah.
You get the normal controls that the amp has, and they actually give you some other ones too. Sag, hum, ripple, bias, some other different things, which kind of like allow you to tweak the amp to sound like the tubes are really old or the tubes are really new.
It's things you could do if you knew how to build an amp and
or
make
if your
changes.
amp had
Modern
just
amp,
been,
I guess you could say.
if your amp is just really old and the tubes are worn out, lots of different things you could do. But you get the full range of controls, and there's like no limits on it. Mm-hmm. When you
turn the gain all the way up,
if you want,
all the way down.
You can do that.
Yeah.
The difference with neural, the captures, the quad cortex does have amp models in it, so it is similar to like what you can do with the Helix. But a capture, if you were to capture an amp, that's Neural's terminology, and then if you were to profile an amp, that's Kemper's terminology. The capture of the profile is like a digital picture of that amp's chain in that exact period of time.
Yep.
So adding gain is not the best idea. Like if you want a dirtier patch, like that unit has to create it artificially. So if a profile doesn't have enough gain for you, you need to choose another profile or another capture. And
see, I'm still I question about the nonlinearity part of the Kemper and some of these other things. People say, yeah, it's just a static EQ capture. Well, I think a lot of them really are, but could be wrong.
you can make some adjustments, but basically you need to treat the EQ and the gain as kind of like a mic EQ, like on a channel of a board. So you can't do like drastic changes. What we've done, it's not quite a model of an amp like the Helix on its own, and it's not quite like the Kemper profiles or the quad cortex captures. It's kind of like a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You can't do anything insanely drastic.
Still haven't really told us what the difference is between the Kemper and the Helix. I hear the Kemper does nonlinear or dynamic based stuff, but I don't know.
But you can make changes.
The Helix amp model still
there.
Is the foundational piece of it. So like for the AC30 amp tone match patch, for example, you can change the gain on the AC30 on the amp model, and it will respond like an AC30. You can change the tone, controls of it, and it will respond that way. Where it gets different is like with the Chieftain patch, for example. The Chieftain patch uses channel 2 of the DC30. So when you crank the gain on that, you're going to get characteristics of that of the
It's going to be a little
DC30
different,
rather than the Chieftain. It's still going to sound like the Chieftain because you've got that impulse response that's sort of transforming it. But so these tone match patches are more flexible than a Kemper profile, for example.
Yeah.
You can make more changes to them, and they will feel and respond like an amp. So in this section,
I'm really not getting much good information out of this. I'm sorry.
we're going to A/B the Helix patches versus the actual amps. So we're going to show you how close they really sound to the mic sound of the amps. Now, keep in mind, for what we've done, we're matching the Helix or the Line 6 amp model to the mic.
I thought this was going to be a really informative video about how they were doing things. I don't think so. I'll be back with some other stuff later, but I'm not going to bore you guys with this one. Sorry about this. I thought this was